And it's going to be a huge undertaking. It definitely is, and it's going to last a lot longer. This stuff is catastrophic, it's historic, and it's epic. Bo, let me go back over to you real quick. We're going to cover a lot of ground here with you. I want to move back to a little bit. I want to talk about this little plastic piece real fast, okay? Clearing malfunctions is something that frustrates most all shooters, and it's tough to learn. We all have a tap rack and everything else. So it's like, this little piece of plastic is just that. It's a little piece of plastic. What is it? It almost looks like a little anvil. If I want to paint the theater of the mind for you, it looks like a little anvil about an inch long, maybe 3/4 of an inch in height. What does it do?
It's called a hard malfunction device. It goes inside of the magazine of Glock 9mm 40 handguns. And what
Glock 9mm or 40 mm.
Yes. And it will induce a hard malfunction every time it's hit. Your tap rack ready won't work. You'll have to do the hard malfunction clearance.
Okay, give us an example.
So a hard malfunction clearance is the example like a double feed. Right. So if you have a double feed, you wouldn't, if you tapped and racked, the second round wouldn't come out. You just re-induce it or keep it in place. So in that case, you have to lock the slide to the rear, rip out the magazine, clear out the chamber, check and make sure that your magazine was reusable. If not, switch to another one, insert, re-rack the slide, and the fire will be back up and running.
Right. And one of the points I want to make here, that why this is so important, and I've done these drills, and they can be frustrating, to say the least, and they're very frustrating in real life. The reason this is so vital is because if you're talking about a fight, right, you have got to know how to do this quickly or you could be dead.
Yes, unconscious application is the goal.
Which is why I go right back to what you're talking about. The retention is very, very important. So what this is going to do is going to give us that opportunity at our own speed and time. And I'm guessing, because we haven't talked about this before, just being familiar with the processes.
Yes.
This will give me the opportunity in my own time to learn how to do this. So that when the chips come down, I'm going to do it without even thinking about it.
Exactly. The idea is that this allows us to have the stimulus of that hard malfunction. That stimulus so the gun is no longer functioning and I must get it fixed. And so rather than the thing happening and we being surprised about it, instead we're used to it. We've seen it not once or twice, but we can see it hundreds and hundreds of times. And this gives us the opportunity now where it happens for real, it just gets fixed because that's the neural pathway that you created.
Now you know what you're doing. All right, back to living an armed lifestyle. I want to go back to the newbie. I get a lot of emails in this respect. When a young mother makes a decision, females are the fastest growing, women are the fastest growing segment.
I know, it's great.
Isn't it great?
Yes.
Are you seeing that percentage reflected in your training too?
Yes, we're seeing an increase in females a lot.
The standard number we hear, Bill, you've heard this on the show before, we've talked about it, but they say 30% of new gun owners, Bill, are women. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. And I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the number's bigger than that. Every single, and I mean every single gun shop owner I have spoken to over the last 2 years will tell me that's not true. It's 50% or higher. Are you seeing that reflected?
Yeah, ladies' events are packed. I mean, they're just, whenever you see a ladies' event, they're just absolutely packed. It's really great.
A ladies' event? Oh,
yes.
No. You're not charging the $15. Not going to get sued, are you, for the civil rights like the guy down in the...
No. This is another place. SM is flat for everybody.
Okay, good deal. Well, no, it is really good to see that they're seeking that training.
Yes.
And they're going above and beyond the, hey, shoot at the pie plate at 15 feet and thinking, well, I took my Florida permit class. I shot 3 rounds at a pie plate at 15 feet. I'm trained. No, we're not trained.
No, not even close.
Which is why in the state of Georgia, for example, we don't have mandated training to get our concealed weapons license. Or concealed, well, it is a concealed weapons license, not concealed handgun. We don't have that. Here's why. Because that's not training. When the state tells you you have to do X, and then you were trained to get your permit, too many people, I fear, stop there.
Yes.
I've already taken my training. They're not even going to call you. In Georgia, the classes are packed. Packed. You remember when Larry came down and took the class or taught the class down
Yes,
with
it
us.
is.
Those, I'm telling you, the best training you'll get. There's women in these courses. There's men in these courses. You see all ages. You see all colors. You see all. They're all reflected. Don't pay attention to what you see in the news. How full are your classes right now?
We limit our classes out per time. So when we do a class, it maxed out at 10. But you know, we're pretty much at 10, 12 every time we run a class. And so,
what does that say to you? What does that mean when you see that? Because when you see all the crap on the news, no. Real life is what happens on the streets, right? Okay? Real life is the black and white neighbors having a barbecue, not what you're seeing on the news, the garbage that you're seeing about monuments and all this other crap. Real life is people filling your classes, right? People of all walks of life.
Yeah, all kinds of different people from all over the spectrum. And the big thing that we're seeing is that people are really getting tired of standing there and punching holes in paper.
Yeah.
They want to go past that.
Well, it's a beautiful thing. Where can people find your stuff?
So they go to sealedmindsettraining.com or at Sealed Mindset on Facebook.
All right, now I'm going to ask you right now on live radio across the country on hundreds of radio stations. You are coming back, right?
I would love to.
Oh, thank you, man. We have so much to talk with you about.
I missed one thing. I apologize. It's sealedmindsettraining.com.
Sealedmindsettraining.com, and we'll continue to push that on the program for you.
Thank
Really
you.
good stuff. Can't wait to have you back on the program. A fascinating hour with you. One of the coolest guests we've ever had.
Thank you.
Let's talk real quick to Texas Bill. Texas Bill, we are thinking about you guys down there. We are pulling for you down there. I know you're going to be grilling while armed for all those first responders down there, and I'm just going to ask you right now, is there anything Armed American Radio or Armed American Radio listeners can do for you guys right now?
You know, just keep us in your thoughts and prayers, and the people down here we'll band together. We're really good at doing that. It's going to be a long recovery period for us.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
No question.
I don't know how many houses that are been affected, but it's hundreds of thousands.
Oh, it is, and it's going to get worse. Well, thank you, Bill, for doing what I know you're going to do with the first responders down there, and we're going to talk to you throughout the process. Thanks for calling in and jumping in while we're here at the fair, Bo. Thank you. AWR Hawkins, Alan Gottlieb, 1280 AM The Patriot, General Lee Michaels, the Minnesota State Fair. See you next year here at the fair, but we're going to see you tomorrow on Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. I'll be flying home in time. Until then, carry on, carry off, carry absolutely everywhere. Never leave your cave without your puppy on our radio.
Dear Newberg.
You've just filled your prescription for freedom on Armed American Radio with Mark Walters, the loudest voice in America fighting for gun rights. Here to share some impressive information if you're thinking about listing your house. My friends at the Ryan Group just sold a house in Beaverton, $86,000 over list price, and they've had 18 showings on the first day. I asked Aaron Ryan how that happened, because I know it wasn't just the result of a hot real estate market. Well, they do it by acting as your network pipeline to buyers locally, nationally, and even internationally. Call the Ryan Group at 503-343-1666 and ask how they can help you get offers before you even put your home on the market. And if your goal is to get multiple offers to drive the price up, they can help you with that, as they have with many of my listeners. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful. The Ryan Group will even buy your home if it doesn't sell in 29 days, and they'll buy it for the price that you agreed to prior to listing your home with the Ryan Group. Call them today, 503-343-1666, or check out 29andgone.com. That's 29andgone.com, and tell them Lars sent you.
Nick Casano here, advocating on behalf of your brain. That's right. If you had a concussion, you need an advocate. I got hit in the head by a volleyball several months ago. I was dizzy. I lost my balance. It just wasn't right, and I needed an advocate. My wife agreed with that. It's why I've partnered with Concussion and Whiplash Clinic, concussionpdx.com. Board-certified physicians, Drs. McCann and Nelson, evaluated my condition, mapped my brain, explained what I was experiencing, and provided the treatment and training necessary for recovery. I'm doing great now, and I'm advocating for you or someone you know. Whether the concussion was caused by an automobile accident, the #1 cause